After watching Scream 5 and 6, I'm relieved to report that Scream 7 is actually good. It's not perfect, but it's the best film in the franchise in over 20 years. Stick around as I go over the good, the bad, and the ugly of Scream 7. The movie begins when a new Ghostface emerges and begins targeting Sidney and her daughter Tatum. The attacker appears to be Stu Macher, one of the original Ghostface killers, but isn't Stu dead? Sidney tries to protect her family while trying to find out if Stu is really back. Let's start with the good. Here are 7 reasons why Scream 7 is the best film in the franchise in the past 20 years. Number 1. Sidney is back. The best part of Scream 7 is that Neve Campbell is back as Sidney Prescott. I've loved watching her character grow and change over the past 30 years.
It's not like a boy's never crawled through your window. I've all seen the movie.
Which is why it's never gonna happen in this house.
She's not a scared girl anymore. She's been through this too many times now, and she's learned too much. She knows that she can't run away. She's got to protect her family and end the threat. Sidney's like Rambo now. When Ghostface calls, she's not intimidated in the slightest.
I see you found a new town to live in. It reminds me a lot of where we grew up.
Oh, do we know each other?
She doesn't wait for Ghostface to come to her. She starts hunting them down immediately. Sidney probably has a higher body count than nearly every Ghostface. I'm glad Neve is back in the franchise. Scream 6 just doesn't feel like a real Scream movie, and it was because she wasn't in it. Just like Jamie Lee Curtis with Halloween, Neve Campbell is the Scream franchise. She carries the movie almost single-handedly, and the film wouldn't work without her. Number 2. Joel McHale is not Patrick Dempsey. When it was announced that Joel McHale was going to be playing Sidney's husband instead of Patrick Dempsey, and was now named Mark Evans instead of Mark Kincaid, I was a little worried. Like, how do you tease Kincaid being Sidney's husband for so long, and then just bring in another actor to play a different character? Maybe Kincaid was going to be brought back just to become cannon fodder, so Dempsey turned it down? Either way, I was wrong. Joel McHale is great in the movie, and I think his character is a better choice for Sidney's husband than Kincaid would have been.
Did you lie to me?
Look, in my defense, I don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember?
Oh, no, I don't remember what I told you.
He's got better chemistry with Neve here than Dempsey did in Part 3.
What's your favorite scary movie?
My life.
I'm really glad that they made him competent and formidable in his own right, and not some dummy who gets easily killed off either. The scene of Sidney and Mark teaming up to fight Ghostface in their house, it's one of the best scenes in the movie. Number 3, the opening scene. Stu's house is an Airbnb now, and anyone can go there and stay the night. There are outlines where Billy, Stu, Richie, and Amber were all killed. Ghostface even calls you after you arrive as part of the experience.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Stab one.
It's time to play a game. Scary movie trivia. 3 questions.
And there's a Ghostface mannequin inside the house that's motion activated. Even though you see a lot of the opening scene in the trailer, it's still scary and effective. The film satirizes the tropes of previous Scream openings like the Ghostface phone call, and instead uses it as a joke to lure the characters and the audience into a false sense of security. Then when Ghostface finally emerges, he comes from where you least expect him. It's a good opening scene. Number 4. A Ghostface gets defeated and unmasked early. One of the things I've always wanted to see in a Scream film was a Ghostface get killed and defeated halfway through the movie. These movies always have multiple villains, who usually always attack separately, yet none of them ever get beaten or killed when separated from their partner. They always all survive until the end, when they come together, and then they all lose. In Scream 5, when Dewey shot Amber, I thought it would be great to have Amber unmasked and defeated right there, leaving the last Ghostface to figure out how to finish their plan alone. In Scream 7, a Ghostface enters Sidney's house to attack Tatum. Sidney and Mark team up to beat him down. It's a great scene. Sidney beats Ghostface with her mailbox on the front lawn. Ghostface runs away only to immediately get run over and killed by Gale. It's like 45 minutes into the movie. They unmask him and it's a guy named Carl, an escaped mental patient. Now Sidney and Gale have a face to investigate and see who he's connected to. Speaking of Gale, Number 5. Gale being injured from previous attacks. One of my big complaints about Scream 6 was that everyone turned into a superhero. You had characters like Sam and Mindy getting stabbed multiple times throughout the movie, yet they recover immediately and act like they never got hurt. In this movie, we see the consequences of previous Ghostface attacks. When we see Gale, her hands shake throughout the movie. She's weaker and can barely hold the glass because she was nearly killed in Scream 6.
I just have some nerve damage from the attack in New York. You're lucky you set that one out. It was brutal.
These characters have survived multiple Ghostface killers, but they take life-changing damage when these killings happen. It reminds the audience that these characters are real people and not superheroes. I also like that Sidney and Gale reaffirm their friendship, and it was a nice touch that Sidney apologized for not showing up in Scream 7 to help Gale. Number 6. The kills are more brutal. In this movie, we have an angrier and more vicious Ghostface. Ghostface kills someone by impaling them on a beer tap. Ghostface sets a dying woman on fire and leaves her to burn. The kills just feel a lot more creative than the past couple films where it felt like Ghostface would just stab someone and run off. Plus, Stu likes to call Sidney and taunt her before killing someone. He isn't trying to surprise her. He tells her right where he's going to be and what he's going to do.
I'm at Parker's Tavern with your daughter.
He's daring Sidney to get there in time to stop him. Those are the first 6 great things about the movie. I'm going to save number 7 for later in the video, and talk about a few things in the movie that I actually don't think worked. The bad. Number 1. The young cast. The young cast just isn't as interesting as the older cast. The teenage characters are all generic and unmemorable. They're just there to be cannon fodder. They all get introduced and die a scene or two later. When the movie ended, I couldn't even remember any of their names except for Sidney's daughter Tatum. That's only because she has the same name as Sidney's friend from the first film. Tatum as a character doesn't have that much to do either. Her story is that she's supposed to be meek and wants to be strong like her mother. But the movie doesn't show her any of that. She has one scene where she trips and falls during rehearsal for a play, and somehow that's supposed to mean that she doesn't have any grit?
You're Sidney Prescott's daughter. You need to channel some of your mother's fire. Thought you had more grit.
Number 2. Chad and Mindy are back, and they're still useless. Chad and Mindy from Scream 5 and 6 are back. They're Gale's sidekicks, but they do nothing in the movie. They come back for 10 minutes, Mindy accuses the wrong people of being Ghostface again.
Okay, my money's on boyfriend.
Yeah, my bet's on creepy kid.
And then they both get stabbed and taken out of the story. It feels like the movie doesn't even take their presence seriously. Chad isn't even good enough to get stabbed by Ghostface. He gets stabbed by one of the teenagers on accident. I don't understand why the filmmakers keep bringing these two characters back. Just like the last 2 films, they both get stabbed and survive. Why? They've never been anything but annoying in the films they've been in. Mindy's whole shtick is that she's the new Randy, but then she gets everything wrong. Chad has proven 3 different times that he's absolutely useless in these situations. They really need to write these 2 out of the movies for good. Number 3. Stu is AI.
Surprise, Sidney.
The main story of the movie is that Stu is back to get revenge on Sidney. Some characters think he's dead, but Sidney believes he's back. It turns out that Stu is just an AI creation from the real killers.
It's not really me. You want to know who I really am?
Which sounds like a good idea on paper, but I think it was executed wrong, because the movie waited way too long to reveal that Stu was AI and not real. By the time the characters and audience found out that he was fake, the movie only had about 10 minutes left to introduce the real killers and their motive. At that point, they spent so much of the movie with fake Stu wanting to get revenge on Sidney and investigating that he's still alive that they should have just had Stu actually be alive. Because by the end, it kind of felt like a waste of a return that could have been a big deal. And that leads me to the biggest problem with the movie. These are the most underwhelming Ghostface killers ever. After Scream 6, I couldn't imagine there being a lamer set of Ghostface killers than the Bailey family, but here we are. The main killers in the film are Jessica, Sidney's neighbor, and Marco, an employee at Carl's mental hospital that Sidney and Gale investigate when they think Stu is back. Anna Kemp and Ethan Embry are both great actors who do the best with what they have, but they're both barely in the movie. They have less than 5 minutes of screen time each before they unmask. Ethan Embry's Marco is only in one scene at the mental hospital before he reveals himself at the end of the movie. And their motive had nothing to do with Stu and nothing to do with Sidney, even though they spent the entire movie using Stu to taunt her.
You didn't really think it was Stu. No, because that'd be dumb. Stu's dead.
Their real target was Tatum, because they think that Sidney is past her prime as a real-life final girl, so they want to traumatize Tatum the same way that Sidney was traumatized at the end of Scream.
I'm creating Sidney 2.0.
But we literally don't get any hint of this until the last 10 minutes of the movie, and everything before that is focused on Stu getting back at Sidney.
What about, him?
Yeah, that's John.
The movie just waited too long to reveal the real villains and their motive. Okay, so now that we've gotten my problems with the movie out of the way, let's go back to the good. Okay, and the final reason now why Scream 7 is great, number 7, Ghostface actually wins. Kind of. This is the first film in the franchise where the Ghostface killers actually achieved their goal. Yes, Sidney survived, and Jessica and Marco both got killed, but they absolutely destroyed Tatum's life. They achieved their goal of making Tatum the new final girl. They murdered all of Tatum's friends and her boyfriend. They mutilated her father. She's psychologically damaged just like Sidney was at the end of the first movie. And now, because Tatum survived and defeated Ghostface, she's absolutely going to become a future target when Scream 8 comes around. In conclusion, Scream 7 isn't a perfect movie, but it's a fun entry to the franchise. If the series ended here, I think it's a great ending. But this is Hollywood, so we know it's not going to end, but it does leave interesting places for the next sequel to go. Will Tatum become the new face of the franchise? Will Sidney become more of a supporting character? Will Stu actually wind up being alive after all? Director Kevin Williamson revealed in an interview that they originally filmed an ending scene that showed that Stu really was alive. They didn't use the scene, but it just shows how close we came to actually getting Stu back for real. He's only dead until someone can't think of a better idea and decides he's alive. Either way, I can't wait to see what comes next. Thanks for watching. If you're still here with me, like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel out.